I'm Chris Kearney, Assistant Chair of English, and I teach a range of courses from English 1101 to English 4470. I'm one of the first people who's had a chance to use the video format and teach on multiple campuses simultaneously.
My name is Charles Ward. I'm Assistant Professor of Art, and I am part of the Media, Culture, and Arts Department. And I've been asked to talk a little bit about applications of technology in my courses.
I'm Paige Crump. I'm Associate Professor of Spanish in the Dublin campus. I teach Spanish 1001 and 1002, elementary Spanish 1 and 2 online and on campus, and Spanish 2001 and 2002, intermediate Spanish 1 and 2.
My name is Jonathan Yerby. I'm an assistant professor in the School of Information Technology. My current field is networking and information assurance, including our new concentration in digital forensics.
My name is Carol Sargent. I'm an accounting professor in the School of Business.
Daryl Thompson. I'm an associate professor of nursing.
Lolita Sarton, Assistant Professor of Education, the School of Education. I believe in active engagement for my students, really giving them the opportunity to experience and apply the theories that we talk about in class.
As with the face-to-face classroom, in the video classroom, one learns to be adroit at reading student faces, trying to gauge the level of interest and engagement of the student. I think as a facilitator in the classroom, whether it's video or face-to-face, it's important to keep things moving. The goal is an active classroom, a student-centered classroom, a classroom where the students are doing the work.
One of the primary strategies I use is D2L integration. And with the D2L integration, all course material is provided through D2L. It is based on a previous iteration of the course as an online course. So what I've done is supplement the in-class lecture with online materials. And this is done also by giving tests through D2L, grade management in D2L, using discussion forums in D2L. And in other classes, such as studio courses, we have done critiques using the discussion forum in D2L. Also, my studio courses submit all of their work digitally. So I have a copy of every artwork submitted by every student in every studio class for the last year and a half.
I try to recreate the face-to-face classroom experience in the video class, which sounds impossible, but actually I found that it can work. I leave the classroom feeling like I've had that kind of engagement with the students. The feedback that I get from the students, both on the spot, during class, and actually as data sort of picked up from emails and other interactions, even after the class, makes me feel that it really is possible to do that.
I tend to use several different innovative techniques or interactive techniques in the classroom. Anything to get the students involved and active. Sometimes I use iSocrative, which is a free online program for teachers. You just have to register for an account. And the students can use any web-enabled device, such as their cell phone or smartphone or laptop or iPad, to do practice questions. With nursing, students have to take a licensure exam after graduation to become an RN. And the questions are all application-style questions. And it takes the students sometimes a while to master those. And so the iSocrative is a nice tool to allow them to practice, and also it allows them to use the technology, because we tend to preach don't use your phone, don't use your phone. But this allows them to use their phone, and it gets them active, and they also turn it almost into a competition.
I can pose a question in class, and students can, with their smartphones, participate in the poll, and then we can all see that immediately and get that feedback.
Some of the technologies that I like to use in class involve a lot of active learning, a lot of constructivism. I like to really meet the students where they're at, let them bring their experiences in. For any online or hybrid classes, I like to use a lot of video to keep students actively engaged. I like students to know that I'm there in the class with them, whether it's an online, face-to-face, or a hybrid class. I really like them to know that I'm right there with them doing the same activities, mentally engaged, socially engaged, and just that I'm there with them.
Residual income is a computation that takes profits and subtracts a capital charge and says that any dollars you earn above the cost of capital or the minimum return is great and will.
So I was afraid when I created these little movies that students would stop coming to class and that this is relatively passive. So how is it engagement? But what I found is that the weaker students aren't ready to engage. And so until they watch this 4 or 5 times and sort of get that base knowledge, they won't ask an interesting question. They won't engage at all. They'll just be quiet. They'll pull back and it hurts them. So this allows them to watch 10 times maybe even before they come to class. So they actually come to class, my attendance is up, and they're asking questions. So instead of saying, Professor Sargent, I'm lost, tell me how to do this, they'll say, Professor Sargent, I got all the pieces, but I can't figure out that piece.
We haven't seen this really before. The figures' backs are to us. This means that as the viewer looking on the scene, we're no longer just observing something. Now we're a part of it. In this class in particular, one of the things I've done is I have video lectures that were used for the online course. I've incorporated them into the D2L course for this class so that students are able to go back and watch that lecture if they either miss class or just simply want to study and are better as a visual and audio learner.
Spanish 1001 was developed almost 6 years ago, followed that by Spanish 1002. So to develop these courses, we had to think outside of the box of a traditional online classroom and figure out how to make a foreign language classroom work. So we developed lists of vocabulary that would have overlays of audio so that students could practice the pronunciation of the words. We would have links in with questions and answer sessions for students, as well as a large variety of practices, whether they came in the form of written practices, oral practices, discussion questions, Dropbox assignments, etc. I enjoy teaching online. It's a very different experience from teaching in the classroom and on campus, but it's a lot of fun, and it gives you a lot more flexibility to be able to be creative and to tap into your creative side to help students learn something that you're passionate about.
I'm constantly getting comments from students saying, oh, I wish everyone else was doing the same things that we're doing in here, doing a lot of hands-on, and students say that I couldn't have gotten this new job that I just got or this new promotion that I just got without this class. And just the great emails and just looking on LinkedIn and seeing people get those new job promotions and send me a quick thank you note, it just really validates and makes it worth doing all the extra stuff that I do.
There really is becoming more and more no reason to have a hybrid listing or a partially online listing. Technology as an integral part of content delivery is becoming the norm, and it's an expectation of the students.
I think that teaching in different formats makes me more reflective as a teacher about my teaching in general. And I think that's a good thing because teaching is a process. And in order to keep my teaching fresh and authentic, I think that things need to be tried, things need to be tried and fail, things need to be reworked, things need to be tried again and retaught. And all those things contribute to the authenticity of my teaching, which benefits obviously the student in a student-centered environment.
I have had students that don't want to engage and they don't want to work and they just want a multiple choice exam, and would I please just play school? And the answer is no.